All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Mystic Scales and
And
Fae
Faye
Tales
Tales.
podcast. Together, it's better.
This is,
I'm Jen,
I'm Lee.
and
Welcome.
welcome. We are very excited to do our third Sunrise on the Reaping breakdown episode. If you haven't listened to the other parts, please go back and listen. But we will be breaking down in this amazing episode, Sunrise on the Reaping, Part 3, the poster with a bunch of spoilers. So I'm very excited. And the best part about today is we have a special
We
guest.
do have another special guest, so welcome, Kayla.
Hello.
Can you tell us a little bit about you and your journey with the Hunger Games? I know we have a deep history with it.
Oh, you should say your story of how you guys met too.
Do you
Yeah,
want to tell that?
so I read Hunger Games pretty late, like, because I did not read I did not read the series until the movies had come out. The first movie came out, and then I read the series because I went and saw the movie, absolutely loved it. So I went home and devoured the series. Um, and then I met Lee. We were actually roommates on the Disney College program.
And they were
roommates.
roommates.
And then we were roommates, and we were moving in. And we both had like our phones like on the table or on the counter, and Rue's whistle goes off, and we both instinctively reach for our phones because my text tone I think was Rue's whistle. I think yours was too.
Mine
That's
was, yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
We're like,
immediately,
did we
we're like,
just become best friends?
that's what happened. And then like you had your pita blanket in your room, and I was like,
Yeah.
thank God this girl's team
Wait,
pita.
is it just a blanket of Josh Hutcherson's face?
It sure is.
Okay, I love
My
it.
friend gave it to me as like a high school graduation gift, I think. So yeah, I still have it.
That's
I
hilarious.
let my cat sleep on it because her namesake.
True.
So. But yes,
Yeah.
I did bring it to Florida.
And I was like, thank God this girl's team pita because we can
Oh
my
we're
God,
best friends.
Imagine if you had a big face of Liam Hemsworth and you were Team Gale. That'd be crazy.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
I think there would have been Hunger Games in the apartment. Like there, it would not have been good.
That's
The
crazy.
TV's the cornucopia. And we're just like,
God. Not
That would have been really sad.
no.
and
So
so
you got into Hunger Games, yeah.
yes, I was immediately, I think my senior year of college, I dressed as Katniss for Halloween. Like I was deep in immediately. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like I just love that she just keeps feeding us a little bit at a time. She knows what the people want.
She does.
She
She's
does.
like, I'm gonna give you this, and I'm gonna let you like sit with it for a year or two. You're gonna digest. You're gonna forget your trauma, and then guess what? We got something else,
Yep.
and back to therapy.
It's like 5 years though. This was 2020.
This
No,
is
no,
true.
this is
Yeah.
2025, and Ballad was
Ballad
2020.
was 2020. So actually, when Ballad came out, I believe in May of 2020.
Mhm.
And Kayla and I, like, to connect, like, in the pandemic,
Yeah.
we were like, let's read Ballad together. So we, like, broke it down. We were like, let's do
That's
chapter
so
by
cute.
chapter.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just like some form of normalcy, and then your heart gets ripped out. So
Yeah.
That's so funny because I didn't read Ballad until like a year ago, I think,
Oh,
which is
wow.
crazy because I'm such a big Hunger Games fan. But when
Yeah.
Ballad came out, I just like, I don't know. I just was like, I'm gonna get to it. And then like I was like the movie, and I was like, oh, I have to read this book. And then I finally read the book, and I was like, oh my God, why did I wait so long? Like, that's insane.
I know.
Which I feel like is common for Hunger Games fans. I've met a lot of Hunger Games fans that I talk to that they're like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, it's
Yeah.
okay. Like, you should go back and read it though. But they're like, I watched the movie, and I'm like, okay.
I mean, the movie was still fantastic, but I agree.
yeah.
Okay, so Sunrise, what was your take? What's your review on Sunrise? How are you feeling?
I mean, I don't want to say like, I mean, I loved it, but that's so hard because I mean, 30 odd pages in, your heart's already shattered.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how can you, it's like people ask like, oh, did you have a favorite part? Or like, what did you enjoy? And I'm like, everything's sad. Everything
Yeah.
is so sad in it, but you like don't want to have a favorite part. But overall, I really enjoyed, I think she did a lot of fan service with this one. Like she knew like having familiar faces would be helpful. But I mean, obviously I enjoyed it. I loved, and again, like I talked to Lee, and we want to go and reread the original trilogy with like this Haymitch lens
Mhm.
on it.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool to do.
Yeah.
That happened when we were rewatch. Okay, I didn't tell you this. We rewatched Catching Fire recently in the theaters, and as we're watching it, even though I know it's gonna happen, I was like, "It's not gonna work, guys. Like, you guys are gonna fail. Like, you guys are gonna get caught by snow. Everyone's gonna die. Like, I know what's gonna happen." But this entire time, I'm like, "It's not gonna work. Like, it's just sad." And then I'm just like, "Wait, I have to remember. Like, things actually do turn out good in the end." But in my mindset of Fun Sunrise and Ballad and Sunrise, I'm like, "Nah. Like, everything sucks. Like, it's
Yeah.
never gonna work out."
Yeah, even Catching Fire, like you can look at it and be like, in Haymitch's shoes, like she was luckier and she was in the right place at the right time where I just wasn't.
Right.
And even like going back to District 12 and it's gone. And he's like, these are the consequences of our actions.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's
like,
I've seen it all before.
right. And now it's just kind of like amplified because like when Haymitch comes back, it's just really his family, which is so tragic. But like when Katniss comes back, it's everyone.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I really like that you said fan servicey, but it's because it's helpful to the reader. That's the first time I've
Yeah.
heard someone say that, which is so great because I think that I've heard people be like, "Oh, it's fan servicey," but like like they're like, "Oh, it's kind of annoying. It's fan servicey." Or I've heard people be like, "I mean, it's fan servicey, but expect it because it's so popular." But like, no, that's a great point that it is helpful as you're entering this world again to have familiar faces to make you feel grounded in all this.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna take that and steal that from you and say that every time someone says it's fan service, I'm gonna be like, "But did it help you? It helped you."
Because I mean, in a book full of like so much, you're being hit with trauma every other page. It's nice to have like this warm, fuzzy, a little like, oh, it's Mags, it's Effie, it's Wyrus, it's Beatty. You have just these a little bit of comfort in this world of just chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, let's break it down. All right, we're gonna start with the poster. Obviously, this is the last part of the book we're gonna be talking about. For anyone listening, the poster is starting on chapter 19 and goes all the way to the end of the book. And we left off last episode where Ambert has died. And now Haymitch is found failed. And he feels failed. And he is literally giving up and he's crying. And the volcano has happened as well. And before we get to the big part of this chapter, he is very depressed. And he thinks nothing's gonna work. So I wanted to talk to you guys about his reflection on his failing. And there was a quote I had in here, of course, because I tap everything. Okay, I'm gonna read it to both of you. Ready?
Okay, ready.
Plutarch's words echo through my head, mocking me. No more implicit submission for you, Haymitch Abernathy. Below the water tank sky high, the entire country needs you. Well, bad call, Plutarch. Turns out I was built for implicit submission, head to toe, through and through, inside and out. So, like, what's y'all's take on this implicit? So, this is a very heavy question. What is y'all's intake on this implicit submission, and how do we battle this in this book? Because he goes back and forth with being implicit submission, and then by the end, is he just doing that? And how do we? I don't know. I don't know where my question went from there, but you get the gist.
Yes. Yeah. My brain is like formulating, because I think this is going towards a question that I wanted to ask about Maisley's poster. So I don't know. Kayla, do you have any initial thoughts first?
I think he struggles with it a lot, especially, I mean, you see it multiple times throughout the book where, like, during the reaping, he automatically gets down on the ground when the peacekeepers tell him to. And then later, like, he doesn't. I know we're going to talk about this later, but not the peacekeepers, the game makers that are in the arena, like, he freezes. Like, he wants to fight authority and he wants to battle authority, but he immediately freezes when confronted with such.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's almost like, when you're like you've had an argument with someone and then like later on you're like replaying it and you're like, oh, I should have said this.
Yes.
It's like he has that in his head. Like he knows what he wants to do to defy it, but like the action in the moment is not always there.
Yeah.
And I think that's just like he's gonna grow into that. Like he's so new to this. Like just the mere idea of like defying is not his norm. Like, yeah, he I think last episode we talked about he has the influence from Lenore, and like that's her instinct. But I don't think Haymitch is like fully there because he's still like, you know, trying to take care of his family and like trying to get by. So I think a lot of it, like this, I think the poster might be more of his turning point where he's leaning a little more into what else can I do?
Yeah, also it's like last book we read with this world in Ballad, we're seeing characters who aren't born into this that are being adjusted to. So you're seeing different sides of the tributes throughout that game and how they are automatically like there's some that are implicit and some that aren't. And where you're meeting with Haymitch in this one, and similar you meet with Katniss, someone who's already born into it, and it's just like it's dwelled into their mind, and you have to kind of weave it out. And she does so many great characters of examples of that, like Effie is another great example of that. So it's so interesting that she like questions it so much in this book, but then like you still like you're never gonna find an answer to how to like break that, I guess, fully.
Right.
Yeah, so your favorite characters, gals. I know it is. Maisley comes in and she saves the day. And Panache dies, which is insane. I kind of forgot Panache died so quickly.
I forgot about his like little, what do you even call it, when he talks to Panache?
Yes,
and he's
like rambling.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was gonna point that out to you because last episode Lee was asking us about his scoring a 1 and like was that come into play, and then he literally mentions it to him. Like, remember that Caesar made fun of you of your image and like you want to have like a good killing. I have a 1. And I was like, oh my god, Lee mentioned this.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Haymitch, like just another moment where like this kid is so smart and I don't know, like thrown into things, but still trying to survive, still trying to like see like what he can show like his mom and his brother and the people back home that he's like not this heartless human.
Okay, I know you guys are dying for this, so go ahead, Kayla. What do you love about Maisley? What's your thoughts about Maisley? Let's hear.
I just love her. I love that even though she grew up she's like a town girl, like she wanted for nothing. She had, you know, they own the candy shop. What a luxury in 12 to be able to have.
Yeah, right?
And from the moment you meet her, she doesn't give a shit about Drizella's opinion, about the Capitol's opinion, and I think the difference between her and Haymitch was that Haymitch is so conscious the entire time of like, they're watching me, like the cameras are on me. What is this going to look like when they replay this? Or, you know, and that's what kind of baffles me is I don't think I would be as conscious of like, I don't care. And I think that's how Maisley is. She's like, I don't care what this looks like. I don't care what they think of me. I'm going to go out the way I want to go out. Cause I think at a certain point she realizes I'm not going home.
Yeah.
And except her poster, as Haymitch describes it, is with the silverware and with being civilized. And I think that is so interesting because, like, to Haymitch, he describes it as like she doesn't want to be portrayed as the animal that the Capitol is saying that they are. That, you know, I know, like, Jen, you've been very affected by Caesar's interview.
My God. Such a different opinion of this man.
And like that's essentially what he's saying is that these kids, they're just animals from the districts. And Maisley like really does, it's the one thing she cares about and that she fights back on.
Well, even like they're in the, and I think it happens a little later, but Haymitch is like looking at her and I think it's after the ladybugs, is that she has the welts from Drizella. She has these ladybug scars. She has like bites and scratches, and he's like, even though she like came as a town girl, she's fighting for her life in here, and she doesn't care what people think about it. Like she just, and even though she's carrying around her silverware and her champagne flute for the grape juice, like she wants that image of her and District 12 to be like, we're not who you think we are.
I found it. As you said, I was like, I just listened to that. Who would have ever believed that coddled Maisley Donner of the nail polish and velvet bows would come to this and face it with such fortitude? Mama used to say, you never really knew who'd swim in a flood.
Yes, that's the perfect thing to describe Maisley.
And I also like when they come back together, I really like that she gets like humanized, and it's in a very sad way because the quote that I'm thinking of is she asks Haymitch like, will Marilee still be a twin?
Oh,
And it's like, yes. And then he has to explain that he had sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And they just have this moment, and it's so heartbreaking where they talk about their families.
speaking of, how do you guys feel about they start calling each other brother and sister?
And sis.
Yeah.
That was really beautiful.
I know. I love that. I love how obviously the evolution of their friendship, which happens in like 10 days, is that again, he thinks that she was this coddled, upstuck little girl, and now it's like they're in this together and they are brother and sister.
Oh yeah, another like connection I had. So last episode, Jen, you were talking about the connections between this game and Katniss's games. And when Haymitch is floundering, his plan has failed, and he starts thinking about what Mags wanted in her games. You know how they had that conversation with each other about figure out what you want, what matters to you. And Mags's was her district partner. And Haymitch has like this light bulb moment where like he can go on because he has to find Maisie. And to me, it was so like, it's not love, right? But it was the Katniss Peeta moment where she's like,
Yes.
Peeta. And like on the like reread, re-listen, that really got me. And I was like, oh, this district connection, this, I don't know, back to just like the humanizing aspect of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I found the quote that you were saying. This morning's poster says, "We're civilized, we appreciate beautiful things, we're as good as you." It's an extension of her whole campaign to show the Capitol our value. Will they know that she's referring to the rebellion? I doubt it. They don't know what Pa told me. A poster could be merely be promoting us as tributes. And what harm is there in a few flower napkins anyway? Oh my God, stop. I love Haymitch's thoughts. I love that this is first person also. Like Haymitch's thoughts brings so much perspective, but obviously he's first person. But it brings like so much heart to it. And that's why we talked about this. He's funny, he's great, and it changes so much of the story, I think, than if it was in third person.
I agree. Or even if it was anyone else, I don't think this game, this moment, even if it was like Plutarch, it just wouldn't have the same heart.
Yeah.
That Haymitch does.
How would you guys think Maisie would be if she was the victor, though?
Okay, I do want to hear your take on this, Kayla, because I had thoughts. I think it was our first episode, and I might retract those thoughts.
Yeah, that's what inspired me.
Yeah.
I think she would be, I mean, obviously like everybody's affected by their own Hunger Games, but I think she would be pretty much the same way that she was. She would defy. Even if it's the littlest ways, like the hug before them going into the arena, the silverware, the talking back to Drusilla and like getting beat on for it. Like, I think it would be, even if she could only do like little acts of rebellion, I think she would continue to do so.
So she would join in to help Katniss and all of them take down.
Oh, 1,000% Maisie Donner would be there.
Just making sure.
Do you think she and Effie would get along? Like how Effie and Haymitch get along?
I don't know. I don't know if she would treat Effie like Katniss does, where she's just like she means well or whatever. Like see her heart in that, because like Maisie does see the heart in people. I think she's really well done at reading people, so she might just literally be like,
"That's
true, Effie," or she might completely like get pissed off at Effie for not seeing through everything.
Yeah, because even in this part, where Effie comes to collect Haymitch for the tour, like she's fully fed or capital propaganda. Yeah. And Haymitch is just like, I mean, I'm sure at some points Haymitch is like, Effie, come on. Like, obviously you're being fed so much garbage. But I think their relationship still is and again, that quote from Effie is like, you know, I knew that the minute you helped me with my makeup box. Right. Like, that's such a touching moment between the two of them that they will always be there for each other.
And I think like Suzanne had to include that side of Effie to show like the extreme implicit submission.
Yeah.
And just really like highlight that these people who are kind and like are completely brainwashed, like did get completely brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you like sad for Effie because she says when she's like, the Hunger Games really are for a good cause. You're like, no, girl, they're not. And you're going to learn
No.
that. And I'm so sorry that you have to learn that, but you do.
Which I think was great rewatching the Catching Fire movie because like when there was the scene where she's like holding all their hands and she's like, we're a family. They can't break a family. And like Elizabeth Banks' performance in that, I was like, this is perfectly showing that. Like, it's like, I'm like, Suzanne, were you rewatching the movies while you wrote it? Like, did you remember how Elizabeth Banks played her? And was like, yeah, there's heart there.
No, I don't know if this is a movie thing or if it's a book thing. Does Effie, and I don't know why I remember this so distinctly. Does Effie say to Katniss and or Peeta, like, oh, I could get a good district next year? Like when they come home and they win. I don't know why I thought that she had mentioned like, oh, I might be like moved up in the ranks because I finally have a victor.
I think that might happen.
That's the only part that confused me. I'm like, what if you were like so attached and like
Invested.
Yeah.
like watching out for Haymitch for this long, like maybe
Right.
because there's more victors, she feels like she can like leave it to them because they have shared trauma. But I don't know why I distinctly remember her saying, I can be moved up or I can get a promotion to a better district.
Yeah, that does
I don't think
sound
it's in the
familiar,
movie.
but I don't know from where.
I can't remember if it was a book or a movie thing.
I mean, we just rewatched Catching Fire. We didn't see that.
No.
We'd
And
have
it
to
might
look
be
at
at the
book.
tail
Look
end
in
of
the book.
Hunger Games when they come back, when they come home.
Or
Or they're on the
is
train
it-
or something.
Yeah, or is it the beginning of Hunger Games where she's I don't know. We don't really
I
know
don't
her yet and
remember.
she's fussing. I don't know. We'd have to look.
I have to look. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think. I can't think.
Make a note. Make a tab.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. So then we get to obviously Maisley and Hamish have reunited. They have, like we said, their silverware moment. They eat together. They're allies again. They recoup about what happened on their side and her side, and then we have Hamish's new determined plan to find the edge of the arena and break out essentially. And then he brings her to the hedge, and then ladybugs.
Ladybugs.
Ladybugs attack, which this game is so freaking vicious. I don't know how they're gonna make this movie not be like disgusting.
I
It's
don't know.
insane.
Because yeah, after the ladybugs, Haymitch talks about how much blood he's swallowed of like Maisleys and like they might
Oh
as
my
well be
God.
siblings now.
Yeah.
Because I was like, ew, I don't want to see that.
But it's a terrible moment, but it's a great moment as well because it shows so much of Maisley's heart because she keeps reminding him like 50-50 for everything.
Oh
For
yeah.
water, for any
Mhm.
medicine, for anything like that. And it's
Mhm.
just, again, we love Maisley so much.
Yeah, and she's like not gonna let him take it. She's like, if we're not doing 50-50, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
And you gotta give her credit for that.
Which I didn't realize until my reread that like so much of this like torture of the games happens so quickly.
Mhm.
Like I'm literally looking at the pages to find quotes to talk to you guys about, and like on 280 is the ladybugs, and then 285 or 86 is the porcupines. Like not even a second later, we're already in the porcupines, and I'm just like, what is happening? Like how is this? Like nothing happens, and then like everything happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so like manipulated. Like not much of this is like tribute against tribute. This is like the game makers pushing.
Mm-hmm. Which it might
That-
be because he actually did affect the arena and they need to get them out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're like, shut it down, shut it down.
Kills them already.
Yeah,
Kills them
yeah.
already.
Because yeah, we immediately were talking about this. This game is so mutt heavy. And you would think for such a large Hunger Games that the Capitol, like they like as awful as it sounds, like they're the Capitol, they want to see like combat, they want to see bloodshed. And it's
Right.
Amber, it's Maisie, it's the other girl from 4, like they're all killed
Lulu.
by, and then Lulu, the 3 porcupine kit, like they're
Yeah.
all killed by mutts.
Yeah.
And then the volcano, which is technically the capital.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Like as awful as it sounds, like you would think like this is a big deal for the Capitol. This is a huge Hunger Games, and they barely see combat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Or short combat. Even the panache and the District 4 with Maisley, like it wasn't that long
No.
combat. The longest combat is probably the end with Haymitch and the last girl.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what happened with the
Like cornucopia.
cornucopia. We weren't there,
Yeah.
but still, like, you're right. It's 100% right.
Silka. I was like, what is? I just read it.
Oh
What is her
yeah.
name? Silka.
Silka. Which
We love the names.
this is gonna be an awful scene with her at the end, but I'm so curious, like, of the actor who plays her and like how like deep she can go. And I know that's like awful to say, but
it's whoever gets Silka, they have a big task ahead of them.
The Game Makers. That was crazy. And why do we think it was included?
I know. Insert, is it the SpongeBob meme where they're just like,
yes, I was just talking about the mopping guy.
hey guys.
That's crazy.
Like part of me is like, why are they in there? Like, is it really that important that it needs to be fixed right this second? That you send a mop guy in there?
I didn't understand that at all. Like, I didn't understand the necessary to include that in terms of like the Game Makers, not in the book. The book was great.
I think like we just needed the moment, like back in the training center, you know, when they're like deciding, do we attack them? Do we not? Can we do this?
It's just like in Ballad they do that with like when Koryo is going in the car with them. They're like, do we attack him? And then when Koryo is in the arena with Sejanus, like they're going after them and gonna kill them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's a test of. Okay, that's my question then. Was it planned? Like, was it to show the capital audience how much of an animal they are because they're attacking capital people?
I want to know what you guys think, but my take is that it's a Suzanne plan. Like, it's her putting this in there for us to see.
Not a capital plan. Not, I guess, Game Maker plan.
No, but I can see where you're going with that. I don't know. Kayla, what do you think?
I don't think, because obviously like the capital obviously doesn't see any of that. Like it might be for Game Maker or for Snow benefit. Like this is what these kids are capable of if you leave them alone with the capital too long. And so I think that might be it, but it's obviously not for the capital's benefit. But yeah, I think it might be for Game Maker or a propaganda that Snow can use and be like, they slaughtered 3 Game Makers because they were in the same place at the same time. They're animals.
Exactly. Which, who is the head Game Maker? We never found that out, right?
I don't think so.
No.
I wonder if they're going to include that in the movie. Because, you know, like every movie they talk about that.
True.
True. So I wonder if that's something they're going to address in this movie and like make it up. I hope not.
The one thing I did notice, this is kind of a sidebar, but back to something we've talked about before, where you have asked about Snow's like trajectory, and there's a poster, like an actual poster in the Capitol that says that Snow is like the #1 peacekeeper. So I thought that was very interesting.
Telling you, he was just a soldier and then commander and then president. I don't think he was. The question, Kayla, is was he ever actually a game maker? Like, did he go to be a game maker, or did he like at the end of Ballad they like go to promote him and you think he leaves the District 2 or one of the districts to become a commander? Does he keep becoming up in the military ranks and then runs for president? I don't even know how they do their presidency. No. Just pick people
because he's president for so long.
Right? Yeah. Or if well, actually, we don't even know when he starts the presidency.
No.
So like anyway, or if he became a game maker first and then was picked for presidency, because he did train under Gaul, because she sent him a letter and it's like, come back.
Right.
That's crazy. I don't know. I think obviously he worked like Hunger Games adjacent, but I don't think he ever, like personally, I don't think he ever was a head game maker. I don't think he would care enough.
I feel like, he just bypassed that. And he was like, yes, I'm in charge of all of you.
Yeah, I think so too. So too. And I really wonder when he came into presidency, because I wonder how many tributes had to deal with him as a president and how many didn't, you know? Like Beatty and all of them.
And like, when did they make the quarter quells? Like, when did he decide? Because I'm assuming he's the one who decided y'all have to choose your tributes.
No, that was Gaul.
Was it?
Gaul was there. Like when they, well, I don't know if it was Gaul, but Gaul was still alive, because they talk about, I think it's in this one when they're rewatching, that she says like, may the odds be ever in your favor, and they mentioned that she coined the thing.
Oh, okay.
So I think Gaul was still alive.
with her, but okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think she's the one that That's only 15 years after what we lived her in Ballad.
Yeah, but it seems like a brainchild of the two of them, I would
Oh, it
say.
probably was. 100%. It probably was. Probably was. Um, so yeah, the A makers happened. They all get separated. Um, then I did highlight this quote. I mentioned this in the last episode, but I have to mention it again, that the Covey's songs are in their everyday language.
Yeah.
And I caught another one.
Yeah, there's so many.
And
this
in
part.
chapter, let me give you guys the right chapter as a reader. In chapter 22, page 301, Maisley even says it. She says, not after, no, oh no, not after today. She bites her lip. She used to say, if I was afraid, it's okay, Maisley. Nothing they can take from you is ever worth keeping. And then Hamish goes, I know that song. Lenora Dove sings it. And I was like, nothing they can take from you was ever worth keeping. And I was like, that's crazy. And it made me go on a downward spiral, which I never told you about this, of like,
Oh, no.
how did these songs keep going after Lucy died? Because like, I was like, Lucy makes Hanging Tree, right? And then I guess the assumption is she sings it to the crowds before she dies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then she leaves. Does the Covey keep singing it? And I was like, but then how does the rest of the Capitol learn that song? Because then by Katniss's game, everyone knows that song because then she's singing it, right?
But
Or
I don't
maybe
think,
not everyone knows that
I don't
song.
think everyone knows that song.
No,
but
yeah, I
all
think
of
it's a, like,
12 does.
Okay,
yeah,
12
would
does.
know. Like the Covey would know.
Yeah.
Because like Bardock obviously sang it to Katniss.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Katniss just knows it.
Right.
Oh, we didn't talk about the porcupines though. I know we skipped around a lot.
Yeah.
That was brutal. Any thoughts about porcupines?
I mean, it's just one porcupine, just giant bear porcupine that cries like a baby and is. I feel like they're gonna cut that in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's again, it's showing capital power, but yeah, I don't know if it'll make the cut of the movie, but because like there's nothing they can do at a certain point because they get there and then they try to get it to go away. They finally get it to go away, and even in the Capitol recap, like they jump around with the porcupine. Like they don't show them with the porcupine at all. They just show like the three tributes who were with the porcupine and eventually like passed from the porcupine.
Right.
But it's just such a like it shows. I guess it shows like the relationship. Like they can think on their feet and they can truly defend themselves and like work together.
That could also just be like a nod back to the newcomers, showing that they're still together, they can still support each other, kind of thing. Because I know like Hamish has his moment where like, who am I? What am I doing? Like I look terrible, and he kind of cycles back to what can I present to like the people back home to show that I'm not this heartless killer. So I guess that's what we can take away from the porcupine.
Yeah. But I kind of agree with you guys now. It feels very much like the scene in Ballad with the parade of the tributes and how they cut that from the movie. And I was like, oh yeah, they probably are gonna cut this porcupine scene. Like it sounds like that. Which is crazy. Okay, and then we sadly get to the birds, the water birds. Suzanne has nicely done a way for us to hate all animals with this book.
Except for the poor bunnies, but then you just feel bad for them. They keep dying.
So we have a bird swoops down at a sharp angle, driving its beak through her throat. As it withdraws, I decapitate it, slicing through the skinny neck. I realize Maisley is beyond recovery when the flock clears out. Falling to my knees beside her, I reach for her sound hand, which grasps mine like a vice. Her wounded one curls up and rests in her nest of necklaces, which lays in the pool of blood. Through the rasping of her breath, she attempts to speak, but the last much silenced her voice with its wicked beak. Mine seems silenced as well, as no words of comfort or hope or apology make it out. I just stare into those burning eyes, letting her know she's not dying alone. She's with family. She's with me. Thank you. Moment of silence. I understand that I'm going to skip a little bit. It says, I understand that I will try my best to bring the capital down, although I never felt so powerless in my entire life. And then she's gone to wherever people go when they die. She hasn't begged or pleaded. She retained her fury and defiance. So would we say that she was the only one of them that got to like die the way that they wanted quickly? Or would you say Wyatt was the same?
I mean, I guess you could say Wyatt was the same because he was defending Lulu.
So which death hurt you guys the most? Wyatt, Ampert, or Maisley?
Maisley.
I
I mean, Ambert's is like, it's just like picturing it is absolutely horrible. And like, but I think from like Beatty, like, from the start. I mean, who's going to win from the start, obviously, but
Yeah.
He's not built to make it out, like, of the Hunger Games. So I think, and especially because it was, I mean, Amber's was too. It was a punishment from the cap, like straight from the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
But to have Haymitch like not like I think he expected like, oh, she's going to be punished for this because the Capitol's not going to take her shit. But it was just so they were like just getting so close. It's so brutal, and then he's just like holding her as she leaves.
And I think that Haymitch would have died for her. I truly think so.
I
think
really
he would have
do.
wanted her to win.
And I think that's the moment because they talked about one of us has to win. And that's the reason, that's where he's like, I'm not the poster you want. And that's why when he goes to find Welly, because he's like, I can't be the one to carry this on. I can't be this person because Maisley is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So deep.
I know.
So true.
So sad.
Like Haymitch is just willing to die, and then he just like can't die.
Truly, like that is it. Like he can't die.
Perfect transition. Then we get to Welly. Which district is Welly from? I keep forgetting.
She's a dove.
She's six.
She's
Six.
Yeah.
Six.
Oh, because of the three of them, like with Silka under the tree and the chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, let's talk about that. That was insane, right? A career emotional moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why I really think I like it a career book.
You really don't see any of those in anywhere else, like except for maybe Finnick.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't see any other career acting like a human being.
No, we
most of it
them, like going berserk.
Yeah. Like, oh God, and I can't remember her name from 2. Clove? Yes.
Close.
Yeah, where she's like gonna murder Katniss, like, and that like they don't give them real human emotions. Same with Kato. Like he's just this big beefy monster of a dude.
Till the end.
Like
yeah.
Till the end for Kato. I would say till his almost
and
death.
Yeah, like they're just portrayed in a bad light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I really think the next book might be a career book, but I don't think it's Finnick. I think it's something else, which would be so interesting.
That would be very
interesting. It gives that perspective.
Yeah, and what would she
of extreme implicit submission?
Yeah.
Because like they realize, I think a lot of them realize, like as the games go on, like they're just a pawn in the game. Mm-hmm. So it's like, in that perspective.
The scene between Silka and Welly, like that's where I think Haymitch is like, these, like the careers they're not human.
No.
Like, how do we know how old Welly was? Not old, obviously. Like, but was she 12?
I think she was young.
She was definitely young. I don't know if she was as young as 12, but definitely
young.
Probably.
But yeah, I mean, I can just imagine being Haymitch and you come upon this scene of Silka and Welly, and Silka's just like, she attacked me. I'm like, she's like 12, underfed for days.
Yeah.
And look what you did to her.
Yeah.
Like, and you're not human.
No. And I feel like
fed Capital just garbage for so long that.
Right. And like she clearly just snaps. And
oh yeah.
Because there's no way. Because like he could barely like carry Welly like the night before or moments before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
But I feel so bad for Welly because she like begged him. She's like, don't leave. Please don't leave me. You've and then he's like, I have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets that freaking milk and he's like frozen. He's like, I don't know what to, because he's like, no matter what I do, he's like, if I smash it, I'm an asshole. If I give it to her, I'm an asshole.
Right.
Like, and then of course he hears like Silka, and he just is so overcome with like rage.
Mm-hmm. And even Silka in that moment, it says that like she holds up Welly's head defensively and says like, she attacked me, like she knew, like she was trying to defend her
Right.
her murder in that, which
Yeah.
was insane.
Right. Like in her brain, she was protecting herself.
And she's saying
Yes.
she had to go. You have to go. It's the only way I get back to my people. And it's like that again, I love this idea Suzanne brings up of the careers realizing what's happening to them right at their death.
Right.
Which happens to so many of them.
And doesn't he say, like, what are they going to think of you? And she's like, I'll tell them. Like, I'll explain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no.
Mm-hmm. And like maybe again, it'd be really interesting. I think you're right, Jen, to see like a person that grew up in one or two. And like, is this like, do they get home and are they absolutely glorified for things like this? Like, has she seen this happen over and over where she's like, well, this person got home and they were just praised and like they live in the victor's village and their life is perfect because of all of these things that they did.
Right. Like, is it Anabaria where she comes home and she files her teeth to like show it off even more,
Two siblings. The one that went the year after the other one.
Yeah, Glimmer and
oh, what is her name?
I don't know. They died.
Gloss,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have the end of our game with
we have a true battle.
a true battle. It's a brutal. Doesn't he take out her eye? Isn't that one thing he does?
He does.
He throws a knife into her eye. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I missed that the first time. I was like, oh.
Well, they said that in Catching Fire too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is when he's about to blow it up. And the announcer, who is not Claudius Templesmith.
Oh, yeah.
Which I find very interesting. She doesn't say their name, but he's like, stop, don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it says freeze Haymitopha, you have been drop that now. And then he wakes back up, imprisoned, essentially.
So I do want to talk about real quick so in Catching Fire, I always took it as with the axe throwing. I always took it as like, oh, Haymitch was so smart. He knew it was going to happen. Like he planned it very specifically. And then in Sunrise, he just ran that way. And when the axe was thrown, he knew what was going to happen. Like it was kind of coincidental.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But again, when I read Catching Fire, I was like, oh, he was just so smart. He did it like he's defying.
Like he just kind of ran that way. Yeah, no.
Because the Capitol wanted him to seem like a victor, at least some sort of aspect of him being a victor.
Yeah.
So that's
how they edited. Yeah. No, that's very interesting.
They did, but they don't re-show it a lot. I think they said that.
Yeah.
Because Katniss and Peeta hadn't seen it since then. Just so interesting.
It is. And it's kind of like them seeing it is kind of like a callback to like Haymitch when he's like holed up in that like apartment and they make him watch.
Okay, I have that here, Lee. I'm ready.
Which is, it's also just such a strange time. Like Snow's game.
Yes. One evening, haunting melody weaves through my dreams. I startle from sleep calling Lenora Dove's name. The television glows. On screen, a girl and a rainbow of rockets. Sings a familiar tune with unfamiliar words. It's sooner than later that I'm 6 feet under. It's sooner than later that you'll be alone. So who will you turn to tomorrow, I wonder? When the bell rings, lover, you're on your own. She performs on the stage with a shabby backdrop before a Capitol audience in an old-fashioned clothes. Great Aunt Maiselina and great Uncle Silas would fit right in. Her voice, that accent, the way those fingers command that guitar strings, a covey girl for sure, but not mine. And I'm the one who left you weeping. I know the soul that you struggle to save. Too bad I'm the bed that you lost in the reaping. Now what will you do when I go to my grave? Sniffles from the audience. Someone shouts bravo. The crowd goes wild. The girl bows and extends her hand to a figure who's standing just out of the spotlight. A silhouette of a man. Upright, trim, a crown of curls. He waits a moment as if deciding whether or not to join her, then takes a step forward as the screen goes black.
Dun.
Why was he shown this?
And like, I'm just thinking this. Did Plutarch do that? Was that Plutarch like giving him insight? Because I don't think that Snow would want him to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think he already knows Snow knows the covey.
Right.
Yeah. He doesn't need to prove it again.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I think it might have been Plutarch.
Because this is
just because, like, I don't know who else it would have been.
Yeah.
I think so. That's who else would have access to the clips as somebody whose job is literally that. And I told Lee this, that they're gonna have to fix this in the movie, because in the movie when she does this song of Ballad when she's singing, they edit it that he's in the hospital watching it on a TV screen.
Yes.
He's not there. He doesn't come on stage. And I said, oh, they gotta fix that in the movie now, because when he watches this, they're not together.
How do you think they're going to address the Mockingjay pin?
I think it's easy. I think people are really stressed about this, and I'm just like, it's so easy. Listen, they in the movie she gets it from Greasy Say and in the black market. Like, okay, they gave away the pin. The family gave away the pin. That's it. That's all.
So sad,
Like the
though.
sister
I
can still
know.
exist, Madge can still exist, the mayor still exists, all of them still exist. But maybe it was too much for their grief to hold on to her jewelry, and they gave it away, and that's it.
Yeah, I
But they'll still
guess
keep the
It's
same
I
story as here.
it's not what we want, but that's what's gonna have to happen,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it
Yeah.
works.
It still works that the pin came from them. Like they're still gonna, like people are like, oh, they're gonna cut out Marilee. I'm like, no, they're not. Like they're gonna have the twins. They're gonna have all of that.
Yeah.
Like
They have to.
it's fine. We'll
Yeah,
know.
I'm ready for the shot again, and they see it in Catching Fire of Astrid, Maisie, and Marilee, like when
Hugging.
Maisie gets called and they're all hugging, like have to let her go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so interested how they're gonna handle this film.
Oh, I know. I'm
It
so
starts
excited.
filming soon.
I
One more
know.
month. They start filming in July.
And it comes out next November. Is that right?
Yes.
November 2026.
Copy that. We'll be there.
Okay. So he's in the apartment. He's been fed bread and milk for an undisclosed amount of time because he's been so in and out of it. That's the thing. That's another thing that I was like, they keep him there so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand it's to keep like Lenore Dove locked up. It's to keep distance from him in 12 so he doesn't rush home. But it's just, it feels like, again, like they, with Katniss and Peeta, like they got done, they went to their recap, and then they were sent on the train right home.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a torture tactic that Snow's using to keep him locked up to make him go a little.
And then he like literally locks him up. That cage that he's put
So,
in.
I keep going back to that because again, he tries to do these little, like drinking the milk, like blowing up the water tank. Like he thinks he's doing these little acts of rebellion, and Snow's like, you are a bird and you're in a cage, a literal cage, and I have you. And it's such a power play by Snow to put him in a literal cage.
Literal cage.
I know, and it's like extravagant, and it's like the Capitol people are like, oh my gosh, like this is awesome, like we get to like feed you, and like, oh, we're so lucky, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And before that even happens, Effie's the one who gets him, and I noted that she holds up a white rose to give him.
Oh.
And it's just great for Suzanne to plug those little things in because we know what that is.
Yeah, because she gets to the apartment and he's like in shambles because he's been stuck there, and he's just like, as Haymitch would, he'd be like, I just need a rose for my lapel, and she's like, got it, and I'm like, Effie, no, not what he meant.
No.
Oh, Effie.
And then we have the interviews, we have that. We have him watching the games, and the games are not the way that it's shown, as always.
Right. Again, just hits home the idea of people like accepting what they see, and I don't know. I feel like there's so much there, and I hate when the audience just wants to see his scar. Like,
yeah, that's gross.
I think that's so awful. Like they've literally learned nothing. Like this is just another year, another game.
Which I think this comes up in the recap, is I think they zoom out on the arena itself, so you see like the whole thing, and it looks like a giant eye, which is a Suzanne, which is the cover for 1984. It's a giant eye. And she quotes George Orwell at the front of the book. So I'm like, that's why it's a giant eye.
So that's smart.
Wow. I didn't even think of that.
Yes, like it zooms out and he's like, oh, the cornucopia is the pupil and the meadow is the iris, and then the edges, and it like goes out like this. And I'm like, she quotes like 4 people at the beginning of the book. I think George Orwell is definitely one of them. So I thought that was interesting.
The George Orwell is all propaganda is lies, even when one is telling the truth. I don't think this matters so long as one knows what one is doing and why.
Okay, then we get to him finally going home
with his friends.
Trauma.
So awful.
Trauma.
And again, I was talking to Lee about this. I'm like, so he's been in the Capitol for like, let's say 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
And then they were gone 5 to 6 days before that. So they're not well.
No, they
And
could.
they shoved him, they shoved him on a train with these 3 coffins. And do we believe that was Luella or do we believe that was Lulu in the coffin itself?
I don't know.
Or
don't
both of
know.
them? Because I don't think they can't, they don't open it.
No.
Yeah,
So
I
like,
don't know. And who's to say there actually is bodies inside of them?
Yeah, it's almost weird that they would even waste. Why would you waste a coffin? You know, I guess just to appear as if you care, like as if the Capitol cares.
Yeah.
But they could very easily be like, nope,
And I don't
body's
know how
gone.
they do that for. Like, I don't know if Katniss ever mentions that. Like, I don't know if they actually keep this up of this tradition of sending the bodies back to the Capitol.
And I mean, how would she know?
places.
Because she and Peeta are alive.
I mean, if other
No, I
coffins
meant
have
like
come
from
back
other
from other
games.
Hunger Games, yeah. I think I remember, and this could be me making stuff up. I thought that she had mentioned like her dad sang at a other funeral, or like she had seen coffins come back. But I could be
It
100%
might have
wrong on
been.
it.
Yeah, that's something with the read. Because I remember her talking about her dad singing. His family dies. And then Lenora dies, and then the sadness of the realization that they purposely put Lenora in prison so her stomach was empty. She was starved, and then they purposely did all that to him so he couldn't even save her.
Which there's two things I want to talk about really quick. So of course he like gets off the train, he's still in his suit.
And he's still weak. He
Yeah,
says
he hobbled
right,
his way
I
to the
run
house
as best as I can, which you can only imagine.
Yeah. And of course he sees the house on fire, he sees the bucket line, and he immediately obviously wants to run into the house. And Bardock like tackles him to the ground. That he's like, I have a person on each limb. So he has 4 people at least. And I think Bardock's on his chest.
Yeah.
And this is the part like I cried both on the original read and the reread, was that he's like, just let me go with them.
I know.
Let me be, because and I think that's a moment where he realizes his life is changed forever. It will never be the same that it was, no matter how much he just wanted to come home. And I think Katniss also has that moment when they both come home. Is like, we can't just go back to our normal lives. We're changed forever.
Right. And it's isn't it like the quote, you're never getting off this train?
Yeah, that's with when they're at the funeral and he sees Marilee and he just yells out for Maisie.
Stop.
And I think that moment is where he realizes nobody will ever understand what he went through, and that's part of catching fire that comes back to me. It's like, you are never getting off this train.
Yeah.
This is your life now.
And like he has to choose, he chooses not to tell anyone, right? Because he knows like, I can't love anyone anymore, so what's the point? So I'm just gonna drown in
That was
this.
like the huge reminder, because like that's just so sad throughout this. Well, I mean, so many things are sad, but like he constantly says like, I don't have anything else to lose. Like, what is there to lose? Like, I don't have anything else to lose. And then Snow's like, you have a lot to lose. Let me show you how much you have to lose.
Yeah.
Everything. And that's why I think it hits so hard with Katniss. And he's just like, you need to know, like, there's so much for you to lose. Like, you don't understand.
Yeah, like what you do, and he knows this from personal experience, it doesn't affect just you. It affects every single person around you.
Yeah.
So much so that District 12 burns to the ground because of Katniss. Oh, not really.
Wow.
But and I think that's a quote between him and Plutarch as well, is he's like, I've got nothing left, and Plutarch's like, then you've got nothing to lose.
Which is Joanne says that in the movie, that she has nothing left. They took everyone she loves from her.
Right.
I always wondered too if Plutarch tried with Joanne.
Oh yeah. Probably why she lost people, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
maybe she was
Joanne's mouthy anyway, I bet. I mean, she didn't play to any Capital Games after she's not that career that they're looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where they come home and they're glorified and everything's great and the Capitol moves on. Like, she's like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Same with BT, same with, all of them. Also, BT's wife?
I know.
Who?
What?
They've been where? With who?
Like, oh, BT can't because his wife is pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me?
Like,
Where's she at?
And did they survive? And does the child survive?
gotta believe it's a no.
I gotta believe it's a no. Gotta believe another one dies.
But yeah.
So everyone dies. He spirals, and our last chapter is intertwined with the poem from Nevermore. And then also he visits the graveyard, where we see some familiar faces, sadly. Maud Claude, for example. Maud Claire, Maud Claude.
I think it's
Maud Ivory.
Maud Ivory. But in the Maud Ivory, but I'm reading, sorry, my bad. Maud Ivory, and they put some of the quote of her namesake on it. That's why it says Maud Claude. And I think they have Lucy's as well. Yeah, they have Lucy's gravestone. Yet some maintain that to this day she's a living child that you may see sweet Lucy Gray upon the lonesome wild. And then they have Lenore's. Love this scene. Love the fact that they have like a grieving spot, because a lot of people brought this up like post this book, that like the Hunger Games really doesn't talk about religion. There's no like set religion, and he says this in this book, like he doesn't really know what heaven is. Like they mention the song, like there's no religion, no other life, no worship of things, which I think is on purpose, because like Snow says, that'll give people hope in a way. So it was really beautiful to have this setting that they had to at least mourn. And there was a TikTok or somewhere that someone made a point, and I commented on, because they were like, how did they get the gravestones? And I was like, I think Tam Amber makes them. Like he's so well done with like machinery and things, like making all the jewelry. I was like, I think Tam Amber makes them. But it's like, are these the only gravestones that exist in, for their families?
But this leads me to something that you shared, Kayla, and maybe this is what you're about to say too.
Probably.
That kind of shattered us. Is there a song that connects all of this as well?
So Rue's Lullaby is about this gravesite, because it's deep in the meadow under the willow, a bed of grass, a soft green pillow. Yes.
So the assumption is like Burdick wrote this song.
Because he's the one that told Haymitch where it was. I loved that, but I also loved that each gravestone, Maud Ivory's is ivory, Lucy Gray's is a slate gray, and then Lenore Dove's is a speckled pink stone. So they each are represented in their colors. But yes, I believe that Burdick wrote this song, or the Rue's Lullaby, about this gravesite for the copy.
Which, like,
oh my god,
so beautiful.
And then he sings it to Katniss.
So heartbreaking.
Oh my god! Wow, I am mind blown. That is amazing, amazing find. Wow, that's really sad.
I know.
Yeah, it's like earth shattering and makes you want to cry a lot. But and it just goes back to like songs of the Covey, like how intertwined they truly are in 12.
Yeah. So this kind of takes us back to the song that Maisley mentions, is nothing they can take from me, it was ever worth keeping. And Haymitch says it later. I don't know if we could find the exact quote, but he says it in like reference to Lenore. And I kind of took it as, because he says Lenore like grows with him, right? Like he still dreams about her and she's the same age as him. And then he says this quote again, and I felt like he was turning it on its head and saying that like they didn't truly take her from him, like she's still with him. And like that really got me. And like the whole, like the poem is a lot, like that chapter is a lot, low-key a lot. But I think she was just trying to like hit home that like Haymitch is now one of these men that's like in the poem, and his like Lenore has left him with this task of like, don't let the sun rise on the reaping. And so he has to spend his life not only like mourning her and like mourning himself, but he has to keep going and he has to keep fighting. And that's why he's like working with Plutarch and like trying to find the Katniss. And it's just so sad.
Oh, that was another, going way back. So when they go to find the porcupines, he drops his bag in a patch of Katniss.
Oh
yeah. And I was just like, that's just another like little, like, of course, as a fan, you're like, oh, Katniss.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we can end with the epilogue. This epilogue, so much fan art from it, and it's like it's only a page. It's literally a page. I wish it was like 5 pages. Like it's so Beautiful.
I love when he says, "When I see the girl." Can you read that part?
Yes, I can.
think it's
I
a
first saw the girl at the Hob when she was just a baby. Burdick was so proud of her. He toted her around everywhere. After he died in that mine explosion, she started coming alone, treating the old squirrel or rabbit. Tough and smart, her hair in two braids, then reminding me for all the world of Luella McCoy, my sweetheart of old.
Ugh.
And after she volunteered for the game, that nickname couldn't help slip out. I didn't want to let them in, her and PETA, but the walls of a person's heart are not how do you say that? Impregnable?
Yeah.
Not if they have ever known love. That's what Lenore Dove always says, says anyway.
And like he says that if she's right there, like that's so beautiful.
And then that's where it goes into that they Katniss and Peter are making a memorial book after the war, which is so interesting and so cute. That's so fitting for them because they made the book during catching fire together. But when Burdock's page came up, I had to mention him showing me the grave. I felt compelled to tell them about Maisley Donner, former owner of the Mockingjay pin, how Sid loved the stars. Before I knew it, I want to cry. They all came tumbling out, family, tributes, friends, comrades in arms, everybody, even my love. I finally told our story. And then Katniss comes with the goose eggs. Hatch the goose eggs. She's not
such a hatch, not to eat.
Yeah. She's not an easy person. She's like me, Peter always says. But she was smarter than me, or luckier. She's the one who finally kept the sun from rising.
It's just well, and like again, like you read Hunger Games for the first time, and again, I'm always thinking like, quit calling her sweetheart. Like it's not cute. Like he's acting like this like smart ass kind of guy, like this drunkard, and then you learn like, oh, you can call her sweetheart if you want.
I'll say it every day. It's okay.
It means so much.
Well, and I don't know if you talked about this in part 2 or not, but I've also seen where I'm gonna cry again. Where Lulu and Luella are the twin sisters he never had.
No, I haven't seen that.
No,
oh, really?
No.
Great.
Like he lost those twins to find Luella and Lulu.
And then loses those two.
That's awful.
And that just brings it back to Luella with the braids. But yeah, I think it's so, again, everything's so heartbreaking in this book, but you just like think about him where he's like, I needed to be smarter or luckier, and that was Katniss.
Katniss.
Yeah. The end also made me really sad because he's like, my liver is wrecked. I'm basically dying.
Yeah.
Well, he says it again, another puppy thing. I'm not sure I'll be here in the old there before much longer. Because they call it the thereafter.
So he's dying.
My liver's wrecked. Yep.
I did math and I was like, he's probably around 50 years old. Like he's not old. And that really hurt me.
The Capitol can never take Lenora Dove from me again. They never really did in the first place. Nothing you can take from me was ever worth keeping. And she's the most precious thing I've ever known. When I tell her that, she always says, I love you like all fire. And I reply, I love you like all fire too. The end.
Hearts shattered.
Yep.
And the moment our heart shattered, it belonged to us. I'm gonna get that on a t-shirt. Oh my god. Okay. Overall, what is your rating of this book?
I mean, I feel like it's a little biased, being a hardcore Hunger Games like deep dive fan. And I think it connects so many things to the original trilogy that, again, like we said, we want to go reread the original trilogy with this new Haymitch lens. And Effie and Mags and Beatty and Wyrus, and just 5 stars. My heart's shattered and it's 5 stars. Like it's one of those like, oh, this book emotionally wrecked me and I'm a terrible mess. Oh, so I should avoid it? No, you misunderstand.
No.
It brings me back to our first episode where Lee literally quoted Harry Potter and she was just like, it's gonna, what did you say?
You're gonna suffer,
but you're gonna be happy about it.
I was like,
basically that's what this was.
Yes, I agree. 5, 6, 10 stars, like every star. I'm considering whether or not it's my favorite of the series. I think I could go back and forth between Catching Fire and this one. I think a lot of people have said the same. Like,
yeah, me too.
But I mean, I know a lot of people, you even said this, that it mimics Catching Fire, but I still think it really mimics the first one.
I mean, I
think it's
think
more
you're
of the
right.
first one.
I think you're right on that too.
Go ahead, Lee.
What do I rate it?
Yeah.
I think I have to rate it 5.
Okay,
also.
cool. Just in case.
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe she'll come up with like a 4.7.
What do you want to see next? Like, do you think there's more? Do you think, I don't know. Do you want more? Do you want more after? Do you want more in between?
So I would love one of two things. I would love a Finnick, but the first chapter starts mid-game.
Okay.
So like, because I was, and that's why I was hoping a little bit with this is like Haymitch's mentorship and like how that process runs of him just getting tribute after tribute after tribute, or like, is he in the capital? Like, I want to see more of post Victor life.
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like for you? And I know you get it a little in Catching Fire, but then they're thrown right back into the game. So you don't really get to see them live that way. Yeah, I would love a Finnick where he mentors Annie and he
Thank you.
And,
that's what I want.
and like obviously he's like passed around the capital as this like slave. So I want to know like how did that work? Like who proposition? Yes. Like I want, or I would love and I don't know if I would want to see the 25th, but I would love a book where you get multiple POVs where you don't know who the victor is. So you get attached to everybody a little bit. And then like, you're reading, let's say it's the girl from 2 and you get like a little bit of her backstory. Did she volunteer? And then you get like the boy from 11 a little bit, but you don't know who the victor is.
I would love that. That is so great.
And so you like realize what life is in all of the districts.
Yeah.
But then there's only one winner.
Yeah.
So.
And it's snow.
And it's always snow.
Always snow.
So true.
Snow, the villain that you want to die, but in the end, he's the one villain that gets to live their life fully to the fullest and still achieve their goal, which is insane. You don't see that a lot.
So true.
Which is like, I think about it all the time. It's like, yeah, great, Snow dies in the end, but like he was gonna die anyway. He was literally like dying of poison, and he got to live his entire life and do everything he wanted and achieve it.
Yeah, that's gross.
Thank you, Kayla, so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you have opened up our world even more with this book, and we did it. I'm still like shocked by so much and crying and loving this book so much. And I can't wait for the movie. I'm sure we will all keep discussing as time goes till we get to the movie and the rereads and the next book and everything else. Lee, you want to close us out?
Sure. And all the casting announcements. Those are like keeping us...
Did you guys notice for the casting announcements, they purposely announced BD, I think at midnight, and then they announced Wyrus at 12 o'clock.
Noon.
TikTok.
No.
They did it on purpose.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. It was really, really heart-wrenching.
Also, if we have any fanfic listeners, I'm just gonna say, like, I think there was a connection between Wyatt and Wyrus. So if anyone wants to write that little
What do you
story,
mean a connection? Like a love connection?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot how young she is in this book.
She is young.
I forgot she's like 19. Okay. Yes. So
that's my vision for the future. Maybe one day. I know some people say Gail and Joanna later, and I'm
Ew.
Nothing.
Gil gets nothing.
We have 3 book clubs on Fable. We do have our Hunger Games one. It's Rebellion Reads, so join us there. We're always chit-chatting. We also have a Fourth Wing one, which forever stays relevant. I will say the graphic audio just came out, and I'm low-key like, how do I find time to listen to that? Because it's so good. But join us there. And then our SJM for first timers just switched over to our Mystic Scales and Fatales podcast book club. And we started with Divine Rivals, which was actually a recommendation from Kayla. So shout out to you. And so we'll be reading the first one and the second one. It's Rebecca Ross. Is that her name? So if you're reading that, join our Fable. We love to chit chat. Jen is supplying all of the fan art, so awesome. Also follow us on Instagram and TikTok, which is Fatales Podcast, and join us next time. We have a mini episode every other week, full episodes, and
happy reading. Wow, that was good ending.